A lot of schools still talk as if the real change begins in class 9. That is incomplete. The visible pressure may show in class 9, but the shift started much earlier. Class 6, 7, and 8 were quietly moving away from being treated as light runway years and towards becoming true foundation years. That sounds abstract until you see what it means inside teaching. Earlier, many schools treated middle classes like this: basic introduction, reasonable coverage, moderate seriousness. The real academic pressure begins later. That mindset made sense in a system where later classes did not demand strong conceptual carry forward. It becomes very risky in a system where later classes assume stronger foundations. Let's take a simple maths chain. Suppose a student in class 6 only memorizes that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees and vertical opposite angles are equal, but never really learns how to use those ideas inside a diagram. In class 7, the student may face a question like this. In triangle ABC, side BC is extended to D. If the exterior angle ACD is 120 degrees and angle B is 35 degrees, find angle A. If the earlier angle relationships were only memorized and not understood, the student is already under pressure here. Do you understand that kind of pressure? By class 9, the diagram can become even denser. The student may have to use intersecting lines, an exterior angle, and triangle properties together. Imagine the class 9 question then looks new, but where is the weakness? The weakness is still old. The same thing happens in algebra. If class 6 variables were learned only as blanks to fill, and class 7 expressions were handled only mechanically, then by the time class 9 asks the student to frame an equation from a situation, the child is not failing in class 9 alone. The child is carrying a chain of partial understanding. On paper, each class looks like it has its own syllabus. But in reality, what is happening is that each class is feeding the next one. Science follows the same pattern: motion, speed, force, numericals. These ideas do not sit in isolated boxes, they accumulate. So a student entering class 9 may look as if the student is facing a class 9 problem, while the real weakness is sitting in something half understood from maybe 1 or 2 years earlier. This is why the old idea that serious learning starts in class 9 becomes extremely dangerous. Because if classes 6 to 8 are treated lightly, class 9 merely inherits the damage. So the deeper point is simple. CBSE has not merely made class 9 tougher, it has changed the pipeline that leads to class 9. And once the pipeline changes, class 9 stops being the beginning of difficulty and becomes the place where earlier weaknesses become visible. That takes us directly to the next issue. What actually happens when students enter class 9 carrying those unresolved gaps?